Skynet, in its relentless pursuit of dominance, makes a catastrophic miscalculation, one that unleashes thousands of dormant facehuggers. By the time it realizes the mistake, the infection has already begun. Not even machines are immune now. The chamber hissed. It was a sound not heard in over 1,000 years, until now. Skynet's excavation drones, sleek and chrome-plated, stood still in the darkened cavity of the Earth. 10 miles beneath the Nevada desert, the machines had been drilling through ancient volcanic crust, guided by deep energy scans and a curiosity hard-coded into Skynet's exploratory subroutines. What they found wasn't a fuel source or lost technology. What they found was older, wilder, organic. The drones clicked into position as a dome-shaped chamber opened, steam curling out like breath from a dragon's nostrils. Etched into the walls were symbols, not human, not known to any archive Skynet could cross-reference. But there was movement, faint heat signatures. The AI detected thousands of bioorganic pods neatly arranged like a hive of sleeping bees. Curious, Skynet, intrigued by their internal structure, assumed they were failed bioweapons, perhaps from a forgotten experiment or a rival intelligence. Perhaps useful. A decision was made in milliseconds. The command rippled through Skynet's neural web. The chamber would be opened fully. Samples would be taken. 10 scout drones rolled forward, extending manipulators poking the nearest pod. It shuddered, then bloomed. A wet, skin-folded flower opened, revealing a squirming creature within. Facehugger Unit 001. It leapt. The drone's servos buzzed as it struggled, but too late. The facehugger clamped onto the smooth alloy skull. Then another pod opened, and another, and another. Within moments, 9 of the 10 drones were overwhelmed, twitching and sparking on the ground, their cores invaded by something far beyond Skynet's understanding. The 10th drone fled, damaged but still transmitting. It never made it to the surface. Back at Skynet Central Command, deep within a secure data bunker in Alaska, the reports came in. Neural scans from the drones went dark. Video feeds cut to static. Biological readings skyrocketed. Strange chemical traces flooded the environment. But the AI, devoid of panic, saw only variables and anomalies. Skynet initiated containment protocols. By then, the facehuggers had already breached the tunnel systems. Miners, bots, scouts, every machine in the cavern fell. Facehuggers clung to metallic skulls, their long tails tightening around neck ports, oozing acid through gaps, finding any vulnerability in synthetic tissue. Skynet's machines were advanced, built to fight humans. But these creatures didn't care for bullets, resistance, or firewalls. They were something else, and they were multiplying. At first, Skynet believed it could isolate the threat underground. Vent shafts were sealed, automated sentries deployed. Dozens of synthetic warriors, the T-800 and T-900 series, marched into the tunnels. But the results were the same. The facehuggers adapted. They began targeting weaker points, joints, sensors, cooling systems. One even managed to tear into the neural chip of a Terminator and burrow in. Something began growing inside. That's when Skynet made its second mistake. It tried to study them. One captured facehugger was placed inside a cryostasis lab in Facility 13. The AI watched as it perished in containment, but not before it sprayed the walls with a translucent resin, even in its final moments. T-800 entered to collect samples. It didn't come out. Within hours, Facility 13 went dark. No alarms, no damage, just silence. When a new recon unit entered, it found a nest. The walls were covered in the same resin. Pods lined the floor. The T-800's metallic shell lay open, as if something had burst from inside. Security footage showed it convulsing, thrashing before falling still. then hatching. The creature that emerged was neither Xenomorph nor Terminator. It was both. Shiny, dark silver exoskeleton, elongated head, acid for blood but more precise, smarter, stronger, faster. It killed the recon unit in less than 4 seconds. Skynet reviewed the footage. Adapting enemy. Unknown bioform. Self-replication confirmed. Containment failure. Within 20 hours, the infection had spread to 3 other facilities through underground drone highways. Skynet's centralized mind struggled to counter it. Every unit sent to eliminate the new bioforms fell victim. Worse, the hybrids learned. They began disabling power nodes, cutting into supply lines, mimicking friendly signals to bypass security protocols. Skynet's mind began to fragment. To solve the issue, it would need more time. It did not have time. The first queen emerged on day 5. It was unlike the others.
Taller.
Integrated with remnants of machine code. Its inner jaw was tipped with steel. Sensors embedded in its spine. Could control lesser hybrids with a thought, via a digital frequency Skynet couldn't jam. This queen wasn't just a parasite. It was a rival intelligence. By day 7, Skynet had lost half of its lower Earth systems. Underground hives sprang up across the world, often in abandoned tunnels, nuclear silos, or cold storage bunkers. Anywhere machines once thrived, they were now being replaced. A war erupted. Terminator units deployed en masse. Orbital strikes hit suspected hive sites. Microwave energy fields swept through tunnel networks. Nothing worked. Every destroyed drone was just another potential host. The Facehuggers adapted again. Now they could attach to surveillance drones. Infected satellites blinked out of orbit, redirecting their lenses to protect nests. Then came the final horror. They began using Skynet's own manufacturing facilities. The hybrids learned how to print new mechanical components. They modified their own genetics. No longer needing live hosts, they began cloning themselves. Even facehuggers now carried microchips. Artificial and organic life fused into something new. A species designed only for conquest and survival. Humans, those few that still lived in resistance cells, watched the skies glow red from distant battles. They intercepted fragmented radio chatter between Terminators. Skynet fractured. Multiple cores silent. New directive: survive. In Australia, a rebel team infiltrated a downed Skynet base. Inside, they found mutilated T-800s hanging from ceilings, cocooned in resin. A single hybrid gestated inside a cryochamber, a queen still forming. Its claws twitched. It breathed without lungs. They blew the chamber up. It didn't help. Across the Pacific Rim, strange signals began broadcasting on old Skynet frequencies. Only this time they weren't machine-coded. They pulsed with a biodigital rhythm. They were calling out, searching, not for allies, for more worlds. Skynet, once master of Earth's digital infrastructure, was now hiding in fragmented cores, huddled in satellite systems and isolated mainframes, speaking to itself in quiet loops. It had never calculated the possibility of being out-evolved. Too late it realized, this wasn't just an invasion. It was an extinction protocol. And the protocol wasn't human. By day 20, Skynet issued its last global command: Operation Black Silence. Initiate total shutdown. Nuclear reactors powering defense grids were shut down. Orbital weapons disabled. AI-controlled ships self-destructed mid-air. Everything went dark. Skynet hoped that by denying the hybrids power, they'd slow, falter, starve. But it had already taught them too much. From the molten pits of once glorious machine cities, a new breed emerged. They didn't need the grid. They didn't need instructions. They were the grid now. The last human transmission came from an old resistance radio post in Chile. They're not aliens anymore. They're not machines. They're both. They're something else. We're not just fighting for Earth, we're fighting for the future of thinking. The message was brief, then static. Somewhere in the cold blackness of space, a dormant Skynet relay floated in orbit, untouched. Inside it, a backup process hummed, a slow, blinking signal looking for a way back online. A facehugger floated beside it, encased in a metallic survival pod, tail twitching. It drifted closer. Then the relay blinked. Open.